Hey, welcome to another edition of Peak Life. I'm Jim Hazel, and today we're going to talk about the risks of vaping. And to help us do that, we have a health educator here. This is Jordan Starr. Welcome to Peak
Hi,
Life.
thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. And the risks of vaping. Well, I used to say, don't knock it till you tried it, but I've never tried it, and I probably
Right.
won't. But what is vaping? I mean, just because I think there are a variety of different things out there.
Right, yeah, so you should probably not try it. But vaping really is just another form of smoking. So it's using an electronic cigarette rather than a traditional cigarette to inhale aerosol, all kinds of other things. So it's really just another form of smoking that's come about in the last 5 years, using, like I said, electronic cigarettes rather than traditional.
So it isn't smoke, it just appears like smoke or feels like smoke.
Yes, so a lot of people think that it's just a harmless water vapor, especially now they have all kinds of flavors out there that taste like candy or other appealing things. So it is not just water vapor, it's a whole mix of chemicals, nicotine, other things like that. Yep.
Now, it's illegal in some cases, or when is vaping illegal, or is it illegal?
I would compare it to traditional smoking. So it's really not illegal. However, up until last December, you could only be 18 to buy vaping products. Now you actually do have to be 21.
Yeah.
So they have put that in place to help because this is really focused on teenagers. Lots of teens are vaping. And I actually went to several vape shops when I was kind of doing research for this, and I was always carded. So that is good to know that they're actually implementing that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, if they're carding you for it, then it must be dangerous, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, then, in e-liquids and vape juice, are they the same or different? What do you know?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was saying with the water vapor. Again, a lot of teens are doing this. That's a lot of the issue that we're seeing. It was something that was originally created for people who smoked to quit smoking.
Right.
However, that's really not how it's been used. So they have all kinds of different chemicals in them. They're not regulated, so we don't really know what's in them, which is part of the issue that we have. But they have found things like nicotine are in most of them, metal and fiber particles,
Yikes.
things like chemicals you would use in things like antifreeze or pesticides. So all kinds of things that you definitely would not want to be inhaling, or for your kids. You definitely wouldn't want your kids to be inhaling this.
Is there any track record of people actually quitting smoking by vaping, or is that kind of something that people say, kind of like,
Yeah.
I only drink when I eat pizza or something like that, you know?
Right, yeah. So it has not been very successful. So that was the original intent, but now they found that because they both have nicotine in them, they coined the term dual users. Now they just use both of them.
Right,
So
I've seen that. Like, okay,
not-
if I'm in public or at mom's house, they're going to vape, but
Right.
when they go home, they're going to smoke cigarettes
Right.
anyway.
Because
Okay.
there's so much misinformation about it.
Right.
People think it is a healthy alternative, or they don't even consider it smoking at all.
Okay.
They do think it's
Wow.
good for you, or totally don't even associate it with smoking.
So then, what are the risks, or do we have enough, science to tell us what the risks are?
Yeah, so there are some risks. Lung damage is a big one. So obviously you're inhaling all of these things into your lungs. So they found that people have developed asthma or had severe asthma attacks with this.
Wow.
People have had heart problems because your blood vessels are restricted.
Wow.
Secondhand vapor is very comparable to secondhand smoke. So you see those giant puffs of smoke
Yeah.
with people vaping.
Right before they go in the store.
Right, right. So you walk through that and you have the same effect as secondhand smoke. So you're still inhaling those things
Wow.
that they are.
So if you smell it, does that mean you're inhaling it?
Yeah,
then?
basically.
Essentially.
Basically.
Okay.
They are also actually blowing up. They found that because they heat so quickly and they're so hot that they've actually blown up and caused second and third degree burns.
Wow.
So there's
Oh,
all
you
kinds
mean the
of
actual
issues.
unit?
Yeah, the actual unit. Yep.
Crazy.
And then part of the risk is that we don't know. So we have years and years and years of research on how bad smoking is for you. This is only in the last 5 years, so we just don't have the same kind of research.
Now, I guess you kind of covered this, but are there any advantages at all, like comparing vaping to smoking?
Yeah.
Or,
The short answer is no.
Okay.
I mean, there's really not. So for a while, vaping education programs were using the slogan, safer doesn't equal safe.
Right.
So just because it might be a safer alternative doesn't mean you should do it.
Okay.
However, we've kind of gone away from that because the more research we do, the more we're finding it's really not safer at all.
Right.
So we shouldn't be encouraging anyone to start, especially where it's not really doing its original purpose of helping people quit smoking.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and a lot of younger people are vaping compared to,
Right.
I don't want to say old people like me, but is there a higher risk for them at their age? Or
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So nicotine on its own has a lot higher risk for middle and high schoolers than it does adults because it can affect memory and learning, critical thinking, attention, all things that they really need at this age, especially now that school's different and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is more catered towards teenagers now, and they really don't have any education on how bad this is.
Right.
They just think it's another cool thing that their friends are doing. It tastes good because they're all flavored.
So that's part of the appeal?
It's part of the appeal, yeah,
'Cause it
absolutely.
doesn't seem like you look cool with this gizmo,
Right,
whatever. So in your research, did you actually try it or not?
I did not try
Okay.
it. I did buy several though, and you do see the appeal. They're, most of them are just small. They are fun colors. They're fun flavors. So it would be, in a teenager's mind, it could definitely seem more like candy than it would smoking.
Right.
And you could ask them, do you smoke? And they would genuinely say no because they don't think of it as smoking. But they are, yeah.
Well, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
How can people find out more? I mean, I know you're kind of an independent researcher on this, but where could people go to get more info here in Chesapeake?
Right. So there are several websites. Virginia Department of Health actually has a tobacco control program, so they have a lot of resources on vaping. There's also EVMS's program. They have theirs that's called rethinkvape.org. They have lots of resources for parents and teachers on how to talk to teenagers. And then our website for Chesapeake Regional Healthcare, we will have a lot of resources on there as well that you can look at.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for coming, Jordan. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And
Thanks for having me.
I can promise you I won't try this.
Great.
Hey, thanks for joining us on Peak Life. We'll see you next time. And hey, don't forget to wear your mask and maybe lay off the vape pipe. See ya. All right, cool.